In the Bundesliga, take a look at the weekend fixtures. Action starts on Friday. The lone match, Freiburg against Mönchengladbach. Leipzig and Dortmund are both at home on Saturday. Bayern Munich visits Bayer Leverkusen on Saturday as well. That's a big one. Leverkusen in fifth, just out of the Champions League spots on goal differentials. We take a look at the odds for Saturday's match. The two sides, they did meet in Munich in November. Leverkusen won that match 2-1. Despite that, Munich are still pretty heavy favorites in this. Jan, Dortmund had their chance to make this a title race. What do you think of Saturday? Will Leverkusen take advantage of their opportunity?
Well, hopefully they will, because first of all, I think that Favre did a mistake when he didn't put Sancho and Can in from the beginning. Hopefully Peter Bosz will do the right thing tactically. I think it's been impressive what Leverkusen have done in this term. They got a great balance in their team, with Kai Havertz, with Bailey and Bender and all these kind of. I like the balance in the team. It's a team it's good to watch. Having said that, we know they're playing Bayern. Talking about Joshua Kimmich that we saw with his leadership and everything. This young generation, they look massive at the moment. But hopefully, I mean, there are some of us are praying every year that the title race is going to be tighter in Germany. I think this is the last chance. Dortmund playing at home against Hertha Berlin, and Leverkusen maybe they could beat Bayern this time. It would be great for those of us who love German football.
Shaka, based on what we've seen so far from Munich since the restart, any evidence you think this might be the spot they slip up?
No, I don't. And listen, I understand, Leverkusen had a good result against Bayern earlier this season, but this is a different Bayern that we're seeing right now. And the reason that they've won, 8 titles in a row, is because at this point of the season, they are simply too strong, too consistent, and too experienced. And you saw that against Dortmund. Despite their good start, somehow Bayern Munich came away and really were in cruise control during much of the second half. I expect nothing to change as far as their approach, as far as their dominance. This is a race further down in the table when we talk about Champions League places, but I just don't see Bayern Munich slipping up and making this anything of a title race.
Yeah, and what about Jadon Sancho? He's been linked everywhere. I think the latest is Real Madrid. Is there any talk in Germany, any hope at Dortmund that they could keep him?
Well, in Germany or in Dortmund, they are always praying to keep their players, and at the end of the day, they will lose them, won't they? I think that I got a feeling that last summer there was done a Cristiano Ronaldo kind of Manchester United deal when Sir Alex Ferguson said to him, "Listen, I can't let you go to Real Madrid now. Stay for another year. Do as good as you can," and certainly did. And then they will let him go. Against Paderborn in the first half, they won 6-1 at the end. In the first half, they were terrible. But in the second half, unbelievable. And Sancho scoring his first hat-trick at senior level. He is on fire. He's doing assists. He's 20. He's English. There are a lot of English clubs who will spend some money to get him. And I will be very surprised if he's not going this summer. And sometimes I feel that Dortmund just saying, hopefully we'll have him here as well next season. And then they kind of know that Sancho is a lost case for them.
Shaka, when you look at Jadon Sancho, that career trajectory, talk about a club like Manchester United, we know it would be a pressure cooker. Is there not at least a case to be made that at 20 years old he could benefit from another year or more at Dortmund?
Absolutely, there's a case to be made. At that age, at a club like Dortmund, who continues to play their youth and play a style of football that suits his high-energy running style, you only see his own value going up. But then that's a risk that you take, and many players take in staying someplace. And Jan used the example of Cristiano Ronaldo at Manchester United. Now that worked out perfectly well. But how many other times can we talk about players maybe getting injured, not having the kind of seasons that they hoped, being distracted by the attention and their values going down somewhat? That's the gamble for Jadon Sancho. Now, my concern, just kind of looking in from the outside, is, and Jan was perfectly right in everything that he said about not just Sancho, but the other Dortmund players and the haircuts, is that he's getting a little bit too big for his britches. And you wonder if Borussia Dortmund as good a club and as big a club as they are, the fact that they are continue to trail Bayern Munich season in, season out, it seems, he's not going to accept the kind of responsibility and mature the kind of way that he needs to while he's still there. And maybe he needs the bigger stage. Maybe he needs the brighter lights, really, for him to focus a bit more on what's important. And then he progresses as many expect he would.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.